You said something 3 days ago. Something small. Maybe a joke that didn't land. Maybe a sentence that came out wrong. And right now, for no reason at all, your brain just replayed it. Full volume. Slow motion. With commentary. You cringed. You felt it in your chest. And the person you said it to has probably forgotten it completely. So why can't you? The answer has nothing to do with weakness, or anxiety, or overthinking. It goes back hundreds of thousands of years, to a time when what other people thought of you was, quite literally, a matter of life and death. Your brain has not caught up with the modern world. It is still running ancient software. And that software was built around one terrifying truth. You cannot survive alone. For almost all of human history, being rejected by your group was a death sentence. Not a metaphorical one, a real one. If the people around you decided you were not worth keeping, you were left behind. And being left behind in the prehistoric world meant starvation, exposure, or predation. It happened fast. It happened quietly. And there was no recovery. The psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades studying loneliness and social pain. He found that the human brain processes social rejection through the same neural pathways as physical pain. The same regions. The same signals. When you feel left out, your brain is not being dramatic. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is ringing an alarm that once kept your ancestors alive. This is not a bug. It is the most successful feature your lineage ever developed. Think about what life looked like 200,000 years ago. Your ancestors lived in bands of roughly 20 to 150 people. Everyone knew everyone. Reputation was everything. If you were seen as lazy, untrustworthy, or disloyal, you lost access to food sharing, protection, cooperation. You lost your place in the group's mental map of who mattered. And once you lost that place, you were gone. Not banished in some formal way, but slowly made invisible. Slowly excluded. And then very quietly left behind. Social standing was survival currency. It was more valuable than strength. More valuable than speed. Because cooperation, human cooperation, was the only thing that made your species dangerous enough to outlast every other predator on the planet. And the brain learned to protect it at all costs. Robin Dunbar, the evolutionary psychologist famous for his research on group size and social bonding, found that the human neocortex, the part of your brain responsible for complex thinking, grew in proportion to the size of the social groups your ancestors navigated. Your brain did not get bigger so you could do math. It got bigger so you could track relationships. Who owes whom? Who said what? Who is rising in status? Who is falling? Who is trustworthy? Who is not? You are running the world's most sophisticated social prediction engine. And it never stops. That is why, when you walk into a room, you are automatically scanning for threat signals. Not tigers. Not cliffs. Faces. Micro-expressions. Tone of voice. The angle of someone's body when they turn toward you or away. Your brain is processing all of it before you consciously register a single thing. It is looking for early warning signs of rejection. Because in the ancestral environment, catching those signs early and correcting your behavior fast was the difference between staying in the group and being slowly edged out of it. The researcher Mark Leary developed what he called sociometer theory. The idea is simple and devastating. Your self-esteem is not really about you. It is a meter, a gauge. Its primary function is to monitor your standing in the eyes of others and alert you when it drops. What feels like confidence or shame, pride or humiliation, those are not just emotions. They are your brain's real-time reporting system on your social position. When someone criticizes you, your sociometer drops. When someone praises you in front of others, it rises. When you are ignored, truly invisible in a social setting, it craters. And your brain responds to each of these readings the same way it would respond to any threat signal, with urgency, with focus, with an almost compulsive need to do something about it. That is why you rehearse conversations before they happen. That is why you replay conversations after they are over. Your brain is not torturing you. It is preparing you. It is analyzing what you did, how it landed, and how to do better next time, because next time in the world your brain evolved for, your place in the group might depend on it. There is another layer to this that almost nobody talks about. Your brain does not just track how others see you. It tracks how you imagine they see you. And it is remarkably bad at knowing the difference. The psychologist Thomas Gilovich spent years studying what he called the spotlight effect. In one famous study, subjects were asked to wear an embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of people. They predicted that roughly half the people in the room would notice it and remember it. The actual number was closer to 25%. The subjects felt like a spotlight was on them. Everyone else was barely looking, because everyone else was caught in their own spotlight. This is the quiet tragedy hidden inside the social brain. Every person in that room was busy monitoring themselves, scanning for their own social signals, running their own threat assessments. Nobody had the bandwidth to watch you as closely as you assumed. And yet your brain, doing the job it was built for, assumed maximum observation at all times. It assumed this because, in the ancestral group, maximum observation was the reality. In a band of 50 people, everyone did notice. You lived at close quarters. You ate together, slept near each other, moved together through the landscape. Nothing was private. Social missteps were seen, remembered, and discussed. The spotlight was real, and so your brain evolved to act as though it always is. The environment changed. The software did not. Here is where it gets even stranger. Research by the social neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger showed that when people are excluded from a simple online game, a game with strangers they will never meet, involving nothing of any real consequence, their brains show activity in the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that activates when you feel physical pain. Being left out of a meaningless virtual ball-tossing game registers in your nervous system the same way a burn registers on your skin. Your brain cannot evaluate stakes. It does not know the difference between being excluded from a prehistoric hunting party and being left on read by a coworker. The signal is the same. The response is the same. The urgency is the same. And so you spiral. You overanalyze. You draft and redraft a text message for 40 minutes. You lie awake cataloging small social failures from years ago. Not because you are broken, because you are working exactly as designed. Because somewhere deep in the architecture of your mind, the ancient calculus is still running. The group is everything, your standing in it is fragile, and losing it means losing everything. The cruel irony is that the more you care, the more visible that caring becomes. And in modern social environments, visible desperation for approval often triggers the exact rejection it was trying to prevent. The system designed to protect your social position can actively undermine it. But here is what understanding all of this actually gives you. The next time your brain loops on something you said, or obsesses over how you were perceived in a meeting, or constructs an entire catastrophe from a single unanswered message, you are not being irrational. You are not weak. You are running a 200,000-year-old survival program in a world it was not built for. You can notice it. You can name it. You can say, this is the sociometer. This is the spotlight effect. This is an ancient alarm sounding in a building that is no longer on fire. That does not make the feeling disappear, but it changes your relationship to it. Because you are not the one who is broken. You are just a very old mind trying to navigate a very new world. And 3 days ago, when you said that thing that came out wrong, the other person forgot it before they left the room. Your brain held on to it because it loves you in the only language it has ever known, the language of keeping you safe, keeping you connected, keeping you exactly where your ancestors needed to be, inside the group, held by the people around you, never left behind. The spotlight you feel on you right now, it is not a flaw. It is the oldest proof that you were built to belong.